Hey guys, it's your boy Mo. First and foremost, I hope everybody's families are doing well. I hope everybody's dealing with this pandemic as socially responsible as they can, social distancing, washing your hands, and wearing a mask when you go outside. Protect yourself and protect somebody else at the same time. But today, uh, I'm sad and I'm angry. I'm sad because a man lost his life, Mr. George Floyd, and I'm sad because it was senseless. And when you think about it, when you are paying taxes to pay for public protection from the police department, and then you have to worry about those servants that you pay your hard earned tax dollars to support them, to employ them, and you have to worry about those people being the cause of you losing your life, you have to start to re examine what's going on, what's right, what's wrong, where policy needs to change, and why these things just seem to be happening frequently. It's not like these things have not occurred in the past over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Hell, they've been going on for the last 150 years, where you can see or you've heard about someone that lost their lives in the hands of police. But it always seems to turn out that it is justified, justifiable. I'm angry because the people that are in control of these police departments, whether it's locally or federally, some of the people that are out there witnessing some of the violence are the same color as the people that are experiencing the violence. So I'm angry because that code of blue, that silent wall, that vow that I shall not expose, condemn the actions that take place when we are together is wrong. It's with a heavy heart that I have a responsibility to say something to this leadership of this country that makes it seem like it is just okay for these type of things to keep occurring without consequences. I don't know if you can witness people being tormented, people being violated, civil rights being taken away, almost like you were back in slavery. Because at some point in time, it almost looks like, yes, you have your freedom. Yes, this is 2020, and this is not 1770, where slavery was still prevalent. But we are in 2020, and people still feel like they do not have the right to have the pursuit of happiness, to have civil liberties, just to enjoy being a human being in society. But you have to worry about being a black human being in society, a tan human being in society. It's just wrong on all fronts. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have a disdain for police officers, for authoritarian figures. I don't, because I believe that there are some very good people that dress up in a uniform every single day, that put their lives on the line so that I do have the liberties that I'm afforded. But that doesn't mean that there aren't those that make it bad for everybody else that puts on that badge, that puts on that cap, that walks out that door. But at the same time, everyone that puts on that badge, everyone that takes an oath to uphold the law and to protect and to serve the public, you have an obligation. You owe an obligation to those that you serve in your community to treat them like human beings. You have an obligation to treat someone the way that you would want to be treated, the way you would want someone to treat your mother or your father or your child. But you do not have the right to take lives. Now, I'm disappointed in America. I'm disappointed in America because George Floyd, his life was taken senselessly. His daughter will never grow up to enjoy the things that a daughter should enjoy with a father. Father-daughter dances, graduation, wedding, kids, grandkids, advice. These are the things that his daughter will never experience with her father. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. I didn't know this man, but it still has an effect on me. And that's why I'm here in front of you. Because I think until all of us collectively decide that enough is enough, and we hold each other accountable for the actions that we take against one another, I don't think anything can change. I mean, the protests, I applaud those that go out and respectfully protest. Show the fact that you're upset as to what's going on. Show solidarity in joining a protest, peaceful protest, that gives honor to George Floyd. But I'm also disappointed in those that are going out robbing, pillaging, setting fire, causing mayhem, causing violence. We've had one death, and I think that we owe George Floyd's family the respect that this man is owed. Not that the association of all of this pillaging and nonsense and violence, that's not who he was. And I don't think that's what he would want. I think that he would understand, appreciate, and accept and be proud that people gather together respectively and respectfully and protest it. You can get more done if you do things the right way than doing it the wrong way. But these images of people just, I don't understand it. I don't understand what breaking into a store or burning down a store in your community, what does that show you? Yes, we understand that this is something that should not be tolerated, but at the same time, the people that you are affecting, the people that are serving your community, the people that provide your community with services and goods, what are you showing them? A lack of respect, but you want respect. I don't think you can get respect if you do not give respect. I think it's just terrible. I've heard a lot of athletes speak out, black, white, doesn't make a difference what color you are, but they're actually speaking out because they're concerned. And they're saying that enough is enough. And that, yes, sometimes you cannot just turn the cheek and expect the other cheek not to be slapped. But let's do it in a way that we do this man some honor. I understand that you feel neglected, left out, downtrodden. But guess what? If we don't do something positive, the only thing that comes out of it is another lost life. And when that life is lost, what are the reasons that go behind it? Will it be justified because it was self-defense that another life was lost? Are we going to give an officer more ammunition to justifiably kill another person because the excuse is I felt my life was being threatened, so therefore I fire? I think we can do better than that. I think we owe this man more than that. And for those of you who may look on and say, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't affect me, it's not in my community, it's not in my family, it's not in my heritage. You know, a long time ago, my father told me you never understand another man's pain unless you walk a mile in his shoes with a stone embedded in his foot. Then you'll understand what his pain is. So unless you have experienced some type of racial injustice, being detained, being questioned, being asked, what are you doing here? Why are you here? You might not understand it, but you should understand it, because if the roles were reversed, you would be seeking the same type of justice that others have been seeking for years and years. Mothers have been crying out for sons that have died, and daughters that have died, and husbands that have died. I'm asking, what does it take for a nation to wake up? When does it not become socially or morally acceptable to see a man lose his life on a video and have someone's knee on the neck for over 8 minutes and for 2 minutes after the man had already died. And to see police officers sworn to do a job, sworn in to do a duty, watch, and not one officer come over and say, stop. Take your knee off of this man's neck. He's handcuffed. He's telling you he can't breathe. He's calling for his mother. But not one officer showed the decency isn't that a word? Compassion to say stop. That's the problem. Is that those that are in charge find it morally, socially, emotionally acceptable for these things to take place, because if it is not caught on camera, then it's your word versus the officers. And we know how that ends up. We're not going to indict. We're not going to file charges. We're not going to file federal charges. We're not going to file charges that our civil liberties have been violated. These things have been happening over and over and over again. And over the last 5 years, 10 years maybe, we've gotten a chance to see that even when you have video evidence of a man being murdered, we still don't have the convictions. We still don't have people being held accountable just because they wear a badge. That makes you above the law. No, it doesn't make you above the law. I'm sad. Am I mad? I'm mad. I've got 2 young sons. I've got a young daughter. So yeah, I worry about my sons because it could be them next. Hell, it could be me next. Shouldn't make a difference the color of your skin. Each man, woman, and child should be judged on the character and content in their heart. But that's just not America. We have a president that I wish would, for once, just stand up and call it the way it is. And not worry about, am I going to lose support from those that vote for me? Just call it the way it is. But maybe that's asking too much. But when you take the oath of the President of the United States, you also take the obligation to look after each and every individual in the United States. Not just millionaires and billionaires. Not just the 5% of wealth in this country. But you have an obligation to almost be a father figure to each person, letting them know that they can count on you for support. They can count on you for guidance. They can count on you for justice. But when you don't feel as though that's what's happening, you turn to other means that you justify inside your own head. And I'm not calling for anybody to do any type of violence because I'm not about violence. I think violence begets violence. But, maybe some people will understand that, hey, Colin Kaepernick, he stood for something. He stood for something. And he was telling it like it was. But a lot of people didn't want to listen. A lot of people thought he was not exercising his freedom of expression and protest in the right place because he was doing it on company time. How about he was doing it on human being time and just being a human being? But we also had the president voice in on that. We had a lot of people voice their opinions on how wrong Colin Kaepernick was. What a disgrace this man would kneel during the national anthem. Yet we have police officers kneeling on a man's neck. They can't breathe, exhausting his life. But I didn't hear the president come out and say anything about that. But I did hear him ask for Kaepernick to lose his job. Heard a lot of police officers that are friends of mine supported Colin Kaepernick losing his job. He doesn't deserve the right to have a job for dishonoring the flag. And my answer to them is always there are a lot of police officers that don't deserve the right to wear a badge and call themselves peace officers because they violate people on a daily basis, yet they get paid for their services. So, you can justify it any way you want. You can make it seem, you can turn the situation around as many times as you want. But at the end of the day, you saw what happened on video. You saw it. America saw it. The world saw it. And yes, the worldwide, people are pissed off. And I understand they're going to get angry. They're going to be upset. They're going to want justice, instant justice. Guess what? It doesn't always happen. Sometimes justice is a long time coming. And if you're a person of color, you understand that slavery lasted for 440 something years before we could find freedom. Or before people said enough was enough and that no man should own another man. A man should serve servitude and his children should serve servitude for somebody buying them like they would buy a piece of candy, buying them like they would buy a piece of equipment, and then having the right under the law of the land to do as they choose to do with that property. So America, this land is your land, this land is my land. I don't know that those words ring true all the time. I don't. I don't know that the national anthem rings crystal clear that this is an anthem that's meant for all and that it was written in the spirit for all of us. I don't think that's the case. I think the sooner we realize that there are problems and the sooner we realize that we need to correct the errors of the past, we need to correct the errors of our fathers and forefathers, we need to correct so that we don't have these instances happening on a daily basis. Because I don't want to see another child, another black child, another white child. I don't want to see another child that is violated and killed senselessly for what? Because you felt as though you had the right. This is America, right? Greatest place on earth. I'm starting to question that. I'm starting to question it. Now, this is your boy Mo. It's one of those moments where I don't feel good. I just don't feel good. I wish I could come on and be real positive and have some positivity coming out of my mouth tonight instead of disgust, anger. I feel like I'm in mourning. And I don't think that we should be mourning because this man should never have been killed. So, if this says anything, I'm hoping that it says, please look, listen, and learn from what goes on around you and try to be a part of a positive change. Try to be a part of something that would give this man a reason to say, I'm proud of the way you were protesting. I'm proud of the way that you were showing support, solidarity for something that I'm not there to share with you. It's a sad day in America. Real sad day. I love you guys. I got nothing but love for the Floyd family. And I wish I were coming to you at a better time, in a better place. But if we're dealing with the types of injustice that we're seeing before our own eyes, we all need to worry. Because as I've always said, it's only a matter of time before the spectator becomes the victim. And then when you become the victim, you want sympathy, empathy, and justice. But when you're the spectator and you're watching and saying nothing and doing nothing, and you don't disapprove of the behavior that's going on, think about it. Till the next time. I love you guys. Be good.